let's start here with week 1, man. You got Notre Dame going to Miami. Say, JD, week 1? An expanded playoff? That's the most pivotal game. It's one of the most pivotal games. I think it is because of the way that both of these schedules are lined up and because of what's in front of both these teams. Like Notre Dame, if you want to make the college football playoff, you probably have to be 11-1, 10-2 with no, conference title game. I think you're playing with fire there a little bit, but the college football playoff run for Notre Dame really could be all but set up if you just handle business that first week against Miami. Like you could maybe drop the game to Texas A&M, depending on how you feel about USC. You're going to be in good shape. Now, I love Purdue, but like Drew Brees left a long time ago. They're not going to give Notre Dame any kind of issues here. Rondale Moore is not trotting out of the tunnel there for the Boilermakers. So for Notre Dame, it's probably a 3-game season, but I really think that if they can beat Miami, you feel real good about those next two that I think we're probably all circling with A&M and USC, and that's going to set the table for them. It's going to be a table setter for the folks out there in South Bend with the game they have in Hard Rock there. Now for Miami, they went 10-2 last year, missed the college football playoff. Why? Well, you go back to their resume, and there wasn't enough juice there. And it's not really Miami's fault, but there wasn't anything there where you could stand on the table for Miami and say, well, hey, this win is why we should be in. And the Florida win probably aged, as well as it could have, but there was nothing there that got you super excited for putting Miami into that 12-team playoff. If you can beat Notre Dame in this first game, you have your resume builder. You have some insurance now, even if you don't win the ACC. If you get to 10-2 and you have a win over Notre Dame, you have a little bit of extra level of confidence that when Reese Davis is reading off who's making the college football playoff on Selection Sunday, okay, hey, well, we got that win in the back pocket. We have a team that played for a national title a season ago in Notre Dame, and spoiler, I think Notre Dame is probably going to be in that conversation for the playoff yet again in 2025. That's going to, I think, really bolster their resume a little bit. So that's crucial for Miami. I know it's early. I know there's a lot on the table for both these teams after this game, but to be able to get a win that first week and have that resume boosted and already in the back pocket, that would be huge for Cristobal and company. So the determining factor for me in this matchup really goes back to the new playmakers for Miami. We talked about spring practice a little bit for them. A lot of unknowns in that room. A lot of unknowns. Now, a lot of confidence, but a lot of unproven production. They're going to depend on probably having to go get one more guy via the portal, as we already told you. So the thing that this comes down to me, I think it's about can Miami's wide receivers separate against Notre Dame's man coverage? Because, yes, they changed defensive coordinators. I get all that in South Bend, but the game plan is going to be the same. It is play man on the outside, be downhill in the box, let's get after it. Because if you can't separate against that Notre Dame defense that was one of the most aggressive in the country last year, they're bringing the crib, dude. Bringing the absolute crib against a quarterback now that was making his first start in a new offense that didn't get spring practice. But if they can separate and they do start scoring some points and they look maybe just even a little bit like the Cam Ward offense from a year ago in terms of how many points they're scoring, then you force Notre Dame with their first-year starting quarterback, whether it's C.J. Carr, whether it's Steve Angeli, Kenny Minchie, whoever it is, you force them to have to go score for score on the road with a veteran quarterback, and I think one of the best coordinators in college football in Shannon Dawson. I don't love that, especially with the hope that Miami is better on defense if you're a Hurricane fan. So that's going to be huge from a table-setting perspective for both those teams. Week 1, not a playoff game, but playoff implications, I think, for both sides.